All right, so here's how. How do I write the scholarship essay using my scholarship resume? So in another video, I talked about using your scholarship resume as the essay, and you're probably like, well, but how do I do that? So we're going to pretend, okay? We're going to pretend like the prompt is, why do you think you will need a college degree? All right. Or how do you know you'll be a success in life? Or tell me about an obstacle that you overcame. Pretend like it's any of those because, again, the prompt doesn't matter, okay? The prompt doesn't matter. What matters is the scholarship resume. Some people don't have a scholarship resume, and there are plenty of examples. If you use Canva templates, type in scholarship resume, and you'll see plenty of scholarship resume template examples. It's easy enough if you're in the Zero Debt College Project because there's literally a little module that shows you how to write your scholarship resume, and you can always literally ask me for help, okay? But let's say that you have it. Pretend you have it, okay? On your scholarship resume, you've got things like your academic achievements. You've got your community service information on there. You've got anything where you've done extracurricular activities and gotten recognized. You've got a list of your hobbies. You have where you want to go in life, your career interest, where you're planning to go to college. You have your cumulative and your weighted and unweighted GPA. You have your scores if you happen to have those. You have all those things on there. What you don't have and what you also won't put inside the actual essay ever is your actual name, your actual location. Never, 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 never. Okay. So in your essay, unless they asked for it, you won't say, I'm such and such person, and I lived, you won't say those things. Okay. But you will qualify yourself in the very first paragraph. So let's say the essay says you have to be a US citizen. Maybe you are supposed to be female identifying and you're supposed to go to an HBCU. So you need to say something about that in the very first paragraph to qualify yourself for the scholarship. All right. So again, your scholarship resume, which is who you are, is dictating your response. So you'd say, I'm Dr. Monique Thompson. Well, I wouldn't say my name. I am a Black female identifying first year freshman at Texas Southern University with an intended major of psychology. And I'm graduating this spring from Hall High School in Little Rock, Arkansas, with a cumulative GPA of 3.25. And my future plans include opening up my own mental health counseling practice. What I've been doing this year to prepare for my future is being a peer counselor for kindergarten and elementary school students down the street from my high school, where I have been working 10 to 15 hours per week. I'm accumulating over 100 hours per semester, providing group therapy and life skills on suicide prevention and HIV education and awareness to students supervised by my school counselor, such and such and such. That's real, and that really did happen in real life. Okay, so now qualified myself for this scholarship, no matter what the prompt was. Okay, in my next paragraph, I'm going to make them think, well, how didn't we ever, what were we thinking? How did we not pick her? So in the next paragraph, I'm going to more detail that relates to that particular scholarship. Let's say the scholarship wasn't for people who are going to an HBCU. Then I wouldn't have said anything about the HBCU at the beginning. In this next paragraph, whatever the scholarship is about, I'm going to align myself with the goals of that scholarship. Maybe the scholarship is because they're memorializing someone who passed away and they're doing this scholarship in their honor. I'm going to look on my scholarship resume and see, what do I have that relates to that? Okay, well, I'm doing HIV awareness education, and that's helping people to deal with the potential loss. And that's helped me to identify with kids who have lost someone or who are afraid they may lose someone. So I may use that experience in the next paragraph. And I say, well, in August, I met a little girl whose uncle had been diagnosed as HIV positive, and she was unsure what that meant to her. Because I was working with her every day, I was able to help her express her emotions and her feelings about her uncle's health and identify ways to, in a healthy manner, cope with the grief of his diagnosis and learn ways to accept that it wasn't necessarily a death sentence, but it just changed what his health outcomes looked like. So that related that experience to the scholarship. Do you see what I'm saying? All right. Now, then in the next paragraph, I'm going to be clear that there's absolutely nobody else that you could possibly pick for this by showing my confidence. Okay. So in this next paragraph, I'm going to say, I'm confident about my future in helping others. And I've been practicing doing this for X number of whatever, okay? And then I might say, if it's true, and for my efforts, I was recognized with the White House Presidential Service Award, or for my efforts, my school principal identified me as one of 400 students to represent our school at Girls State, or for my efforts, my district congressman invited me to a special reception for outstanding students, and I was able to voice my concerns about how education in our system is not helping students to identify and express themselves and not providing mental health remedies for people who are experiencing loss. So I'm nailing it for them and saying, look, I'm already doing stuff, and you may want to be a part of my team. All right. Now, the last paragraph, I'm going to let that scholarship know I know who you are. So I might say, like such and such scholarship, I too am concerned about such and such and such. And I'm very excited about possibly being a scholarship recipient of the ABC scholarship. And I would be so grateful to be considered. And then I may give a power quote, something that makes them remember me forever and ever, always, something that makes people get out a piece of paper and write down what I just said, right? So you want to come across confident, capable, as the only person in the world they could pick, and you're doing that by pulling relevant information from your scholarship resume and putting it in the essay. Easy enough, not easy enough, right? All that, maybe you're a little overwhelmed. If you're a member of the Zero Debt College Project, no problem. Share your essay and look over my essay feature where you have quick comments and editorial response about your essay to help you craft it over time. If you are not a member of the Zero Debt College Project, here's your power tip. Find somebody that's winning scholarships to look over your scholarship essay. Now, trust me, that's what works. Your English teacher, your teacher's friend, your mama's friend, your mama, unless they just won scholarships, they are not the ones to do the editorializing of your essay. Okay. You need someone who has won scholarships recently, someone who maybe even applied to the scholarship you're applying to and won last year, which if you're a junior listening to this, hopefully you did. The video I did a little while ago about look and pay attention to who's been winning the lowest scholarships the year before you graduate. Reach out to that person. Congratulations on winning such and such scholarship. Do you mind if I look over your essay? Because next year you're going to apply for that scholarship. And now you have the winning essay from the previous year as a template. Okay, so always as a power tip, use the person to look over your essay is whoever's been winning scholarships, or I look over winning scholarship essays on the regular all the time. That's the benefit of being in the Zero Debt College Project. Okay, I don't know how many millions we didn't help the babies get. Y'all know I just love that part. Okay, all right. See you later. Hope this helped. Take care. Bye bye.